Imagine if tomorrow you woke up and the biggest city in the world wasn't New York, but a place that didn't exist until yesterday. You wake up and now you're in a place where buildings scrape the clouds, where roads are full of driverless cars, where data flows faster than blood in our veins. Welcome to Neo City. In Neo City, a net connects everything and everyone. Here, 3D printers create organs. Robots monitor our vitals, and AI can predict heart attacks before they happen. Forget sick leaves and insurance forms. Your work monitors your heartbeat from your wristwatch, and if you show any sign of stress, you're whisked away to a spa. If your AI doctor detects early signs of cancer, a drone delivers your chemo directly to your home. When you need surgery, robots perform minimally invasive procedures while you play virtual reality games. Forget about hospital stays. Rest assured, nobody in Neo City needs a second mortgage to get a checkup. This is the promise of technology in healthcare. The question is, why isn't this happening sooner? The answer is a bitter pill. For centuries, technology has improved healthcare. Just think about it. Our ancestors relied on bloodletting and potions. Today, AI analyzes thousands of tests in minutes, diagnosing conditions we couldn't even detect before. But why hasn't this made healthcare cheaper? Why is a trip to the doctor still a financial gamble? Well, it all boils down to how healthcare has been organized around cost, not care. When we look at hospitals, we don't see temples of healing. We see businesses. Their bottom line, profit. Hospitals treat patients like customers. They stack them up, rank them by profits, and charge accordingly. If you're healthy, you're less profitable. If you have a chronic disease, you're more valuable. With each passing year, hospitals take on more debt, forcing them to become more businesslike, charging higher prices and cutting corners. Even doctors, once respected healers, have to play the game. Faced with mountain debts, they order expensive tests, not because they need them, but because they bring in more money. It's a vicious cycle. More money equals more debt equals more expenses equals more money. And the patient gets lost in the maze of bills, copayments, and deductibles. This turns healthcare into a financial game where millions lose. In fact, 43% of Americans are avoiding needed medical care because of cost. That means millions postpone treatment, worsening conditions, increasing the overall bill, and risking lives. It's as if we're fighting fires with gasoline. Consider this. Type 2 diabetes is preventable. But in the U.S., we spend $327 billion treating it annually. Why aren't we spending that money on prevention? Well, it's not profitable. This is the dark side of capitalism. While healthcare costs soar, millions struggle to pay. And that struggle often ends in bankruptcy. In the U.S., medical bankruptcy filings account for nearly half of all personal bankruptcies. Half. Imagine that. A single visit to a hospital can shatter a person's entire financial world. But it's not just about individuals. This affects all of us. Unchecked diseases mean higher costs later, both for the individual and society. Heart disease, which could be prevented with lifestyle changes, becomes $1 million problem down the road. Cancer, which might have been treatable in its early stages, becomes untreatable. As a result, we end up spending over $3,600 per person on end-of-life care. That's almost double the OECD average. We're not just failing our patients, we're failing our wallets. Now let's flip the coin. What if we organized healthcare around something other than profit? What if we treated hospitals like public utilities, essential services that guarantee certain standards, not maximum profits? What if we shifted the focus from balance sheets to health outcomes? This shift can improve quality and reduce costs. Countries like Canada, the UK, and Germany have universal healthcare. This means everyone is covered, regardless of income. No one has to choose between rent and a doctor's appointment. And guess what? These countries spend less than the US and often get better results. For example, Finland, which spends almost half as much as the US, has better health outcomes across the board. Child mortality, tuberculosis rates, even life expectancy. Some of the best doctors in the world work in these systems. And guess what? They don't have mountains of paperwork. They focus on patients, not insurance. This allows us to innovate. Countries like Estonia use telemedicine to great effect, especially in rural areas. Imagine a world where a doctor in a big city can consult with a specialist in another country in real time, instantly sharing images and data. This cuts travel costs, waiting time, and improves diagnoses. So what's stopping us from doing the same? Why isn't our technology focused on making healthcare accessible to all? Well, here's the thing. Technology mirrors society. If society is built on inequality, technology will reinforce it. If hospitals chase profits, technology will help them do it better, cheaper, faster. If healthcare is a privilege, technology will ensure that only the privileged get the best care. Take a look at the U.S. healthcare system. How does it compare to other industries? Well, it's slower, more error-prone, and significantly more expensive. So why isn't technology fixing these problems? Why are we still rationing insulin or delaying chemotherapy because of paperwork? Why is a 10-minute appointment with a specialist cost more than a flight to Paris? It all boils down to how we prioritize profit over people, billing over basic care. But we don't have to accept this. We can push for change. We can demand that technology serve humanity, not just the highest bidder. We can organize for universal healthcare, ensuring that every citizen has access to quality care. And we can push for greater transparency, holding hospitals accountable for unnecessary bills and bad practices. And here's the beautiful thing. People are already doing this. In cities across the U.S., community health centers are bridging the gap. Places like Boston Healthcare for the Homeless and Hennepin Healthcare in Minnesota are stepping in where the system fails. They're providing care, not chasing profits. And this movement is growing. From coast to coast, doctors and nurses are joining forces, organizing to lower drug prices and increase access to care. And it's not just about organization. It's also about empathy. How many of us have felt helpless staring at a medical bill? How many have skipped appointments because of the cost? How many have seen loved ones suffer because we couldn't afford treatment? These stories are powerful. They can change the narrative. They can shift our priorities. Look at Cuba, a country that spent less than 5% of its GDP on healthcare. Yet their infant mortality rate is lower than the US, and their life expectancy was actually higher before the pandemic. How did they do it? Not with fancy tech, but with people. Cuba has more doctors per capita than any other country, and they focus on prevention. Doctors visit homes, monitor communities, and provide free education. This approach cuts future costs and saves lives. So what's the takeaway here? We don't need more band-aids. We need a fundamental shift. We need to reframe healthcare, not as a privilege, but as a right, not as an expense, but as an investment, not as a transaction, but as a covenant. Technology can play a vital role in this shift. AI can analyze vast amounts of data to predict outbreaks before they spread. Robots can assist doctors, allowing them to focus on patients, not paperwork. Telemedicine can bring specialists to remote areas, improving access to care. But it all starts with us. Every phone call, every click, every tweet can amplify this message. Every vote, every conversation, every community forum can push for change. Sarah, the young woman working to jobs, she can become one of us, not just a statistic. By demanding better, we can make it happen. We can force a change of heart, a change of mind, a change of the system. The future is ours to shape. Will we stand by while millions suffer? Or will we rise up and say enough is enough? Will we demand a world where technology serves humanity, where healthcare is a right, not a privilege? The choice is ours. Will we sit back or will we fight for a better tomorrow? The path to progress is not built of concrete. It's built of ideas, of solidarity, of compassion. It's built of every one of us demanding a better world. Are you part of the solution or part of the problem? Because in the end, history remembers one thing: action. I want to leave you with a quote from Nelson Mandela. It always seems impossible until it's done. Now go out there and make it possible. Thank you for watching this video.